I had myself mutant. I had myself mutated. Mutant. We're off to a great start already. Let me just drink coffee and shut up. Thank you for watching the VOD. Those of you VOD enjoyers, thank you for that. I sure do like you guys. It's interesting. I feel a little sad about the VODs sometimes because I feel like the chat community on the stream is, I feel really close to the folks in chat, not the regulars. And that's super nice. And then I feel close to a lot of the people that comment on the VODs. And it's like this separate community, and I'm like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if we could all just get together and hang out? How do we do that? VOD folks, I understand it's easier for you guys to watch those, but at some point, one of these years, one of these days, it'll be cool to bring both groups of people together. Soldier, hello, Dax. Gunnerwolf. Hey guys. Crap, speaking of VOD community, I didn't get the last VOD up. Crap. Alright, that'll happen this week. Well, I'll post both VODs this week. I'm not going to be here on Friday. We're out of town. It's Halloween. It just happens to be one of Jasmine's, like, closer, her cousin, closer relative, kind of like a sister to her. It's her birthday. Red birthday, Halloween. So we're gonna just be right out of town for her birthday party, and then I'll be back the next day for the playtest. Speaking of which, crap, let me, before I even go anywhere, do anything else, let me open MailChimp and get, that's the other thing I didn't do today. I was doing some other stuff and forgot to do these things. Okay, MailChimp is open, so I'll remember to send a reminder out to the mailing list. Man, forgetting all sorts of stuff today. Implicit Construct, hello. Old A Grump Gamer, what's going on? Timote is how I'm gonna pronounce your name from the. I feel like W when I say stuff like that. Timote, that's your new nickname. What's going on? That's the new pronunciation. Thadvik, Sarinth, Matthias, Chess, Solo, DevTrav, Astranian, Derelix, Jura, Coot, Link 152. Okay. Okay. Who else? Teflon Don. In St. Clair 13, what's going on? Welcome. Yeah, November 1st is coming. It's creeping on up. Another month that's blasted by. Alright. Well, let's everybody just pray for stability of the servers during the 10-day playtest. And I think we're good. The rest of it's just you either like it or you don't. Hopefully things go well for y'all. Hey, Bill. Yeah. Nothing big going on this week, Bill. Just another silly old playtest. Hey, Dargith, Perez, Kenji, Zifton. What's up, baby? Jumping. Alright. Gigabomb. Hey guys, regulars, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out because we have we're not streaming in the M&M category today. We've gone back to the old school and we're streaming in the whatever this category is called again, the software and game development category. So we may have some new people. we may have some new folks come in, so be nice to them. Asmodania? Greetings from Holland. Hey, welcome back from Schöne Deutschland. Gigabomb, what's going on? Alright, so let's load up this stuff. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll start in the other place first. It doesn't matter. I've got 2 zones that I need to move some spawners around, and in Sungreet probably add some new ones and stuff. So we'll be poking around at that this evening. Salty Soldier said devs do exist. No, we're all AI now. It's all just AI now. Next time stream in the pool, in hot tub category, see if it draws more attention. I think I'd get kicked out for not actually being in a pool or hot tub. They've got standards. Keep saying we should have an in-game feed of the bathhouse and put it in that category, game funded. I mean, it'd be fun. I would love to have just an ongoing in-game feed. And like once we're in early access, we should definitely do that. Don't have it during alpha just because we're kind of keeping people in alpha on the down low. Plus the server restarts every once in a while, I guess, or I don't know. I guess if we turned off name tags, we could have like an ongoing, just sort of like, we could have like an ongoing early, or not early, but like an alpha, whatever, an ongoing feed to the server. The next NWC game is going to be an AI Goblin gambling phone game. Yeah, this is all just, it's been a like, we're playing the long game. We're building up our credibility so that then we can get $35.5 million in funding from a crypto company to make like a AI Goblin phone game. Exactly what's going on. Web 3. Web 3.0. Hey, Doggeroni. Lizzie Luck, thanks for the follow. What's up, Darkwind? Kraft said I was going to take my vacation for the playtest, but I had to change it to next week. Are you going to get any time off? You're going to sell the game to Tencent? Figure you would. Yeah. I figured you out. Yeah. Yeah, that's our racket right there. Let me make these a little less visible. Little easier on the eyeballs. It was busting my eyeballs. Q&A hot tub stream with characters just hanging out in the bathhouse. It might invigorate some people. What's up, Viro? Bulldog? Hyper Taco? Did I miss anybody? Swingburn? Sayella? MMO Pug? What's going on? What is up, dog? Aroni? Alright, what am I doing? Oh, yeah. Whatever it is, I'm doing it slowly, as usual. I'm getting paid by the hour. Not long until playtest indeed. It's coming up Saturday, right? That's the 1st. Some Fallen Pass. Viro, yes indeed, Fallen Pass. I moved a bunch of structures around. So I've got to redo a bunch of spawn points. I've moved a bunch of structures around, and we're gonna redo all sorts of stuff in here. So, and, you know, maybe a little spoilery, but for some folks, it's very needed. We got the feedback, we got ideas. We're gonna make it, it's gonna be, hopefully it's gonna feel pretty deadly, relatively speaking. Feedback was too easy. Some of that was just like broken spawn rates and or placeholder spawn rates and drop rates for items and stuff, so it was a bit Candyland. I get it. We got that feedback. It's all good. That part wasn't as concerning, but then it was great because it led to a nice conversation, which then led to a lot more thinking about just, sure, the zone is outdoor and it's open, but why not really push flow? So now it's a lot more like, okay, if you want to, I guess, risk it, but there's no real point on this one. I might even push that wall a little bit more. But now it's like, staying in the zone for big range of levels isn't the problem because we'll have redundancy. Like, you're going to have, the goal is just to have lots of content of those level ranges in different places. So it's less about that. It was just more about, there was some placeholder spawn rates that were like 100% spawn, and then that person would spawn, and then there was a triggered spawn that came with her, and so now you got 2 100% spawns basically, and they're dropping 3 items, one of 3 items each, and so people are farming the shit out of the items, and they're like, this doesn't feel right. It's like, yeah, absolutely it doesn't feel right. It is not right. It is incorrect. So it's, you know, and then the other thing was, it was just very open, and it had a very placeholder spawn set up in terms of, because there, when I put in the placeholders, it was just like the initial pass, and I wasn't sure how deadly things were going to be or whatever, or 100% what we were going to be doing up here. And so the end result was, it was like easy to get around, easy to not aggro. There weren't a ton of mobs, so it's not like you're going to get into too many oh shit moments or need a ton of CC necessarily. And then there's just like, there's named everywhere that were easy to get to. You could pull multiple named because they were easy to get to. And so fixing spawn rates so that there will be lower spawn rates and consolidation of some named onto the same spawn table, so you may get one or the other. It'll be lower spawn rates, but still decent variety. We'll look at some of the item drop rates and just who they're dropping off, make sure that that's tight. But then the big thing that's going on right now is, here, I'll make it where it's a little bit easier to see. I don't think I'm spoiling anything because, you know, whatever. It's how we do. The thing that will definitely feel different, and I'll keep an eye out and see where people can kind of still exploit Geo and get over stuff, is it's going to be less open. Like, you've actually got to find paths, right? And so there's not a path over there from here. You have to go around. So then here it's like, okay, you can start to get around here, but then there's really not going to be anything but, you know, monsters and shit. And it'll be way more populated as well. And so if you're trying to get it over to one of the areas that's, do these columns have collision? These? They should. They should. And I'm not worried about whether or not you can climb these from a getting somewhere standpoint, but we'll keep an eye out on whether or not mobs can get you, and you can, because, I mean, it's a general thing. The way our game's built with verticality, we've basically got to just have a clean solution for people can get onto all sorts of shit and exploit, if that's the question. But I don't know why you're asking a question, so I don't want to, I guess I should stop assuming. What's up, Squimbly? What's the name of a spooky green castle? That up there, it is called Fallen Watch, and that's the colloquial name for it. Just like this is Fallen Pass, which is also, the nickname. I would like to find lore drops journals all the way up the road. So each time you push further, climb higher, you get to learn more. So many questions about this place. There's a lot of lore written for this place, and so it's just going to be a matter of getting the notes and journals and diaries and stuff written up and in. Our wonderful Nicodemus Bill has been getting in some books and stuff that he's written, but maybe if he wants to assist on getting some of these like specific sort of bits in as well, then he and we can talk about that at some point as well. We've got a lot of stuff that we want to get in, so it's just a matter of sort of making the time to get it in. Anyways, so yeah, that's the summary of what's going on here. Is it's making it a lot more like, Vyro, you seem to know the place, so I'm hoping that if you're looking, what I'm saying is making sense and you like what you hear. But essentially, I wanted it to feel a bit more dungeon-like in terms of layout. And then when you locate the named, I'm trying to ensure that it's risky to just go running around willy-nilly, but just like in a dungeon, once you locate a named and you're camping it, I also wanted to make sure there's a nice radius around the structures that you can pull from. But like right now, I think if you've been up here before, you can already tell that it's a bit more, there are more bottlenecks and more choke points and stuff. And so sure, you can climb up here and maybe hop somewhere and exploit or whatever, but yeah, so now it's a lot more like you'll have to learn the layout a little bit. You can't just go wherever you want, and you'll find like the good spots to sort of move through and stuff like that. So is it spooky at night? Green like the castle? It is green here. I just turned it off because I was working in here and the green was actually throwing me a little bit. Yeah, it should support more groups now because the mob density is going to be considerably higher. And so like this is an open area here, but it's kind of separate between two chunks now. And if I need to put in more, I can put in more, because honestly, it also, it's one of those things when you're up in the air doing it, you have to come back in every once in a while and be like, okay, what does it feel like? How far of a radius? It's kind of a feel thing. It's kind of like a general, you can kind of start counting out spawns and stuff and go, all right. And then as we get a better feel for what feels right given our spawn rate, right? Because you can't go off of other games even, right? Like it's because different games have different spawn rates. And so our spawn rate, our TTK, and how that's working with like typically with the available mana pools and stuff will help us get a feel for like what's a good number of mobs around a given camp to kind of keep a camp fed. What's the level range here? It is high. The level range here is pretty high. So anyways, for those of you that have been up here before, that's what's going on. It's basically I've come in and like you can see, I think you could probably maybe try to jump around some of the stuff, but you'll die, hopefully. Yeah, if you ran through here trying to get to the Green Castle, then you've probably seen some of this before, but you're probably down there. I mean, I want to give you the opportunity if you want to be fancy, but it's not really saving you much time for the risk. But I thought maybe some pullers, it might be fun to be like, do you plan to go to earlier zones, check for floating objects, etc. before EA? Yeah, we kind of do that off and on throughout the process. Champs DJ and Dyra, thank you for the follows. We just kind of do that as we go, but we'll always be fixing. I mean, we'll be fixing stuff even while we're in early access, like zones that are already out. I mean, it's early access, so. Yeah, you know, just keep /bugging them and then we get that info. What will the level cap be at launch? Champs DJ said, thanks, Robot, thank you for the stream. Glad to be here. Question if I may. What will the level cap be at initial launch? 60. You get the full level range at early access launch. What's up, Dankus? So yeah, and if you guys are like in this direction, those of you that are in of the level range in early access, or in closed testing, closed alpha, if you're like, it's good, just maybe even more here and there, then I'll get that feedback. But the first thing to do, so just a spoiler alert, our beloved Pattis the Ranger, he's still around. He's just been so busy. He hasn't really been streaming, but he's been working on that. He's been working on the zone up there. So this castle is in progress, and the wonderful CAD Steve is assisting him now, just because Pattis' schedule has been so just crazy. But he's got the block out of this thing done, and it's sick. We've all been staring at this green castle up here for years and years, and I feel like the payoff is there, and I think you're going to be blown away. What are the odds the green slime pond will coalesce into an epic slime monster? I will not answer that. I don't want to blow anything with the odds. What do you and the team plan to main on launch? Gonna be a founders dev guild going? Yeah, that's a tough one. I think one of the reasons why it would be great if we have enough people to have a few servers is it'd be nice for us to just hide on some servers somewhere. I'm gonna recreate my little closed testing necromancer. I got a little female gnome necromancer that I love playing because she just makes me happy. And so I'll probably start Necro Cleric, so Necro for kind of downtime when I just want to pop in and play for a little bit on my own or whatever, and hop in groups if available. I love Necros for that reason. They're great in groups, but then they're good when you just want to solo some. And I'm fairly certain Cleric. The problem I have is I don't know how much time I'm going to be able to play because there's going to be a lot of shit going on. And I want to play I pretty much want to play every class. Like every class as I'm looking at, I'm like, oh man, it'd be fun to play that. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to pick. And I'm not just saying that. It's really hard to pick this time. Borgio22, thank you for the follow. Carnar's 2.0 for the castle. Dude, this place is... So, you're not going to believe it because you just see this on a hill, right? You just kind of see this little castle up on a hill. You don't understand how big it is. That's all I can say. No spoilers. You don't understand how crazy of a zone it is. Dude. I mean, okay, for just as like a spoiler, just as a spoiler, this zone, the guy that's working on that zone is the guy that worked on this zone. Pattis did Fallen Pass, and he's doing Fallen Watch now. Fallen Pass was meant to be a very small, almost throwaway corner zone. The whole idea was you come up through here, and then you go through there, and then you go into Vale of Zentar. And this place has got like 30 camps in it. I mean, these POIs are like the size of a small dungeon. It's just got area after area after area. You will find, you keep looking around and you will just find more shit and just more. Anyways, this guy is building that thing. Pattis also did Wormsbane. Everybody knows how big that turned out. And dude, how many Wormsbanes can you stuff in a Fallen Watch? So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeedy de Vitas, you're very welcome. Your name makes me happy for some reason. Okay, let me scroll up. Old Grump said, while I was playing EQ2 in my earlier days, around 2005-2006, I happened to be fortunate to play with one of the developers that worked on the game. He was in my guild. Only 3 or 4 people in the entire guild knew. We were sworn to secrecy, so you never know. You may end up with a dev in your guild. Yeah, the only people in my guild that knew... The only people in my guild that knew that I was a developer was my class officer. I played a warrior, and my guild leader, and then the other developer that I played with. We kept it secret. On the boat, you can see parts of Fallen Watch sticking out of the cliff. Uh-oh. Can you? It's all gonna get fixed. What? Nothing's sticking out. Nothing's poking out. I mean, look at how big this zone is. Yeah, Pattis is just, he hasn't been streaming. He's just been he's been so busy with work and the boys and then also that beast, so. Swingburst said, I'm glad my wife is hyped for this too, because oh my god, this is going to be so good. The number of people that I've talked to who have mentioned that their significant others are playing as well is Oh man, it's so cool. I hope it works out. The fact that, you know, you guys are playing and keep playing, not your relationship, but yeah. I hope you guys play together forever. And not just because we want your money. Though that's pretty tight as well. Your wife and son will be playing? Nice. How old's your son? Ginny said, holy shit, you weren't joking about the size of Fallen Watch. It's epic. Dude, I looked at it and went, yeah. You just posted the link from the quote from Jeff, right? From Tiggle, and the link to the video on the old WoW Dungeons. And I was meaning before the stream, I was meaning to like fire back a funny response to that, and then also reference Fallen Watch. Fallen Watch it's a WoW city. I was just like, this is a WoW city. So yeah, keep an eye out, Chinny, because Pattis and Cad might need a hand here and there to get that thing finished. It's so epic. Ooh. Swingbird says she has to hear me talk about it every day. I'm like, yeah, Sean and Nick and blah, blah. That's so awesome. I love it. Your son's 14? Asturanian? And he's going to be playing? That is so badass. That is so cool. I'm so excited for you guys. I hope you guys like it. But I don't think you guys understand why or how we're making this game. We're not making it based off of like, I wonder like how much revenue are we going to generate? I hope we generate enough revenue. Like, it's ideally, hopefully we generate enough revenue to pay the team and stuff. That'd be awesome. But like, so much of it is just like, I hope these guys like it. Like, I hope they love it. I hope they keep loving it after 6 months. Hope they keep loving it after a year. Hope they keep loving it for 5 years and 10 years and 20 years. I'll be 70. You're currently turning down our money. I think the heart of the project's the right spot. It's a scheme. That's our get rich scheme. Turning down the money. I mean, you know, just look at the state of the industry, though. Like, it's just getting money from investors or publishers or whatever. It's just not to be morbid, but I hope Eminem outlives me. John says, John, you would say that. John, you never have to worry about being morbid. I mean, you are the person in Slack where if any famous person kicks the bucket or whatever, I'm gonna know because John's gonna post it. You're like, not to be morbid. Come on, dude. But yeah, it's I hope it outlives me as well. If it turns out to be more successful than anybody can anticipate, have you all entertained a sequel or expansion material? If it turns out to be really successful, we definitely have ideas on stuff that we want to do. But first and foremost, it will be to always maintain our flagship. Monsters and Memories. The support for Monsters and Memories will be reinvested in Monsters and Memories and the team. It's not one of these. I've worked at a few studios now, and I've seen where if the first game does really well, then they're like, oh, all eyes on like making a second banging, like super big, and like, no. Every project we start will start humbly, and it will start with the community in mind. It'll start with the community first, and all right, here's a small seed of a team. Start streaming, build a community. We'll make sure that you've got the cash, but it's not going to be like, oh, here's a whole chunk of money, and we'll never put Eminem at risk. Monomania MMO, thank you for the follow. How's Eminem going to combat power creep and zoneflation if it keeps expanding? We've talked a lot in the past about how we want to expand in depth, not necessarily like just constantly going with vertical power progression, but putting in more and more zones within the existing world that you're familiar with. So it's like more, you know, an example of this would be more various epic quests that aren't necessarily jacking your power up, you know, by multiples over where it was, but allowing you to feel some progression at the leading edge. Or if you're still one of those players that's like in the main hump of the bell curve, then you're kind of, you know, it's going to be a bit of a grind. So if you're in your 30s, you know, mid 40s or whatever, putting in more zones so that you're allowed to basically keep going to some new dungeons and finding new content and going on new quests and things of that nature. And then, you know, the part of the thing is also to accept a certain degree of it being finite, right? And so always growing, always a little bit more at the leading edge, but not always just pushing the leading edge out. And it's like, allow people, especially, you know, going through early access as new racial cities are coming online and stuff, like, I mean, there's so many race class combos I want to play. Roll up some alts. There'll be some new zones. There'll be new dungeons. There'll be new mini dungeons. Stuffing in tons of mini dungeons as we go. New quests, new epic quests, and then, you know, when you finally get to the point where you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna pop onto a TLP and it's a 1.0 and it starts over and the world's just massive from the beginning. Hopefully, you're kind of like, oh shit, what do I actually? Which path do I want to go down? Which city do I want to be starting at? And all this stuff, and you know the content. I mean, a lot of us that have like loved EQ and P99, and you know, or if you're a classic WoW player or whatever, like you know your leveling routes, you know the quests and stuff, but it still feels good. Like, and so we've played the loop of like Orc Hill, Crushbone, Unrest. You know, like we've gone through that loop so many times and enjoyed it every time that. This idea that it's got to be like this super, you know, this game that takes you so far away from home and it's got so much verticality and the progression, like, oh, I'm going to go to the 5th continent from the 7th moon, and like, no, man, I want just more cool shit in the continent that I love, right? So that's been the, like, we have like a 5-year-old goofy diagram in MS Paint that's like, where I wrote like the world is a living onion, right? It's this idea of us like updating zones and adding more content and events and things in the existing zones while adding more dungeons in the zones you're already familiar with. And we've got hooks. Like there are places, you know, in these zones where you may run by and not even know that there's a dungeon planned to be there after release. So years from now. But we already know what the dungeon is. You know, that kind of thing. So, and then as we've expanded the team, as we're fleshing out more of the world, we've got guys that come on the team and are like, hey, I have an idea for a dungeon. We're like, dude, put it in Confluence. Hey, I want to do blah, blah, blah. Sounds good. Let's write it up. I have an idea for a new god. Pull. You know, pull. Cool. Whatever. Yeah, we want you to just always, we don't want to completely like segment you over time and like segregate the community farther and farther as they're like drifting away from the core of the game. The sequel will be a new Planetside from Nick. Yeah, I mean, it's on the list. Let's just be real. Let's be real. We've talked different ideas for games and how to move some of those old, you know, like the classics that we feel just haven't been done the same way again, and what makes them different, what makes them good. One of the cool things about like M&M in like a future game, we'll see if it holds up, but our wonderful server tech that we have lovingly named Silky Johnson. If Silky Johnson will work with a MMO FPS, which I guess it should, and we can support 1,000 players in a zone, well, then we should be able to have some pretty big PvP battles, I guess. So maybe Silky Johnson will hold up, and that'll give us a leg up on interesting PvP games. Grantia said, I love that idea. It's always bugged me that games like WoW had so much content you never return to. Exactly. And that's what we're trying to avoid. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, there's no shortage of ideas and, like, legit thought going into operationally how would we approach it and how we pull it off. But all of that is, like, that's like me going through Zillow and looking at houses in Idaho or whatever, right? Like, it's all kind of like something to do to kind of calm down after a hard week or whatever. The focus is M&M. And, you know, and like we may come out and do really well. We may come out and have a few thousand of you and just have to keep grinding. We'll know next year. Oh, is there a bingo card? Is there a... Do you have a bingo card for my stream? Is it that predictable? Monomania said, loving the design of the Deep Dwarf race. Can't wait to play it. And they've got really cool lore. I hope we can deliver on that. Do you think Zur will forever be the most predominant population content area by virtue of how much time it's been in development? Not forever, because over time we can then... it's been in development for a long time, but a lot of that is the learning curve. The bingo card's pretty funny. The burps are predictable. I have not burped tonight. Screw y'all. Off to visit your mom. It's her birthday. Have a good stream. Hey, have a good visit, buddy. Take care of yourself. Wish your mom happy birthday from all of us. Bingo card. It's insane that what's in the game is the learning curve. I mean, but it's true, right? Like, the first, 2 years, 3 years were basically, I think the first 3 years were shaded dunes and various incarnations of Night Harbor, along with us starting to do some different things like Ancient Crypt or whatever, which is just a kind of a blockout test zone, or not to belittle. And Wormsbane has been, I think, been around for 3 years now or something, right? But it's a momentum. It starts, you build your momentum after doing iterations on this and working through pipeline stuff. One of the top another one on the bingo card was mispronounced someone's name and apologize for it. I want to see this bingo card now, you assholes. Oh man. What can I say? It's the same stream once or twice a week forever. Black shirt, that's a tough one. Although tonight it is a black like whatever merino sweater thing. I say that lovingly. You're not really assholes. I mean, you might be, but not because of the bingo card. The bingo card is cute. It's a cute thing. You're cuties. Oh, interesting. Oh, what's going on there? No, the game's future is in safe hands is one of the biggest draws. Well, I mean, I think a lot of developers, a lot of teams or whatever, they underestimate the fact that I think they underestimate the investment part of MMOs, which will sound odd to say, but you know, it makes sense, right? Like if you're going to invest your time in a community, if you're going to invest your time in a character or friendships and guilds and all that stuff, you want to know that that time is not just going to disappear because Amazon decided it's not super great at making games, right? Like you want to make sure that the time investment is worthwhile, right? Like it's a big deal. What are we working on today? Mostly chatting, but going to be doing some population updates. I was mentioning at the beginning of the stream that the layout here is, if you've been up here before, the layout here has been updated a fair amount and maybe updated more, but it's very it's got a lot of choke points and stuff now, and is not as open of a layout, and so we've got to update the existing spawns to account for that, but then we've also got to start essentially kind of adding to the population, making the population denser, making it work with the new flow and all that. So I've got this zone to work on, and I've got Sungreed Strand, got some spawns to place and stuff like that as well. So assuming I make any progress in here tonight and I don't spend the night just kind of bullshitting, then we'll go over there as well. Hey, Premise. What's up, McCloss? It has been a while, but anytime I see your name, there's only one of you. Darwin says, "Hey Sean, I was just wondering if you guys plan to have type of mentoring system down the line to allow players, new high-level players, to help newcomers." Excuse me, there's the burp. You got it. Put that on your bingo card. May be challenging once the release hype is gone to start fresh and find groups. Nothing formal, but we do. I mean, we're supportive of twinking, and there's no like limitation on out of group healing or buffing or, you know, power leveling or any of that stuff. So it should, and we're not spreading everybody out. The high levels come back to the city. There's housing in the city and guild housing in the city, and, you know, kind of people radiate out and then come back. So yeah. So hopefully it should happen organically. Does that make sense? It does. So stoked for housing? I am too. It's going to be a fun one to continue to expand on. Because just, there's so many just cool locations already. Speaking of twinking, is the damage cap just a flat max damage per hit or normalized somehow? So good two-handers are also good for lower level characters. I don't know. Nick, what is the answer to Drop Error's question? I don't want to give the wrong answer. What would you say is the biggest thing you want to add to M&M long term, but it's not even on the roadmap for whatever reason? I don't know. The stuff that we've got in is all so kind of critical, and I love it. I would probably just give you like a silly answer. Nick says, I don't believe it's normalized currently, but we'll look into it. To your question, Drop Air. Player-controlled Spelljammer style spaceships that take you on space expeditions and then back to the city. That might be cool one day. Or to the center of the Earth. Now that I got chat hiding what I'm doing on this side of the screen, it's wonderful. You can't even see what I'm doing over there. You guys mentioned that you can get crafting stations in your house. Sounds great, but if you can get all you need at your house, then why would I still want to live in the city? Because the house is in the city. The houses are physical places. To the center of the earth via the ocean. Yes, that would be so through the deep. Glorgonox. That's one of the reasons why we put the housing is when everybody's like, but there are houses out in the shoals and whatnot, but not a ton. And then you would have to have all the supplies that you need as well. And then you can't get those necessarily in the shoals unless there's somebody that brings them out there, because you might need to go to the merchant. And yeah, and there might be space limitations and other stuff like that that we play around with in the house. Like I'm not worried about the housing sucking people out of the world too much in our game, the way that we're approaching it, but might be underestimating it. And it's not going to be every crafting station, right? Like there may be certain crafting stations that you have to go to in the world, depending on what you're doing. It's a valid concern. I'm not in any way belittling your question. Even if you have a Suckbot 2000, what good is it in? That is a far future expansion. You might actually have one of those in real life before you actually get one in game. Those of you that are new to this game, Ineki23 said, the in-game English writing on the building feels out of place when looking at signage. Or those placeholders are intended. There are a number of signs that are placeholders. Yes. I like cake, not that I know of. I don't know that anything has been inspired by the Great Emu War of 1932. And to whoever said earlier about the song for Wormsbane having like a Twin Peaks melancholy kind of vibe, that was intended. It just seemed like in a fantasy game, in a high fantasy game, when Robert had asked like, what's some inspiration for the music for this dungeon? When we talk about inspiration for different zones, we'll like We'll throw 80s music, electronic music, metal, whatever. We'll throw it at Robert, and he'll be like, I got it. And disappear, and then come back with like an incredible song. The green cones are when we set up deterministic sort of like go-to points. The big boxes are volumes that you know, the mobs can spawn anywhere in the volume, and then they'll path around in the volume. What's it looking like spawn point wise? I don't even know why I care. There's so many mobs in these zones that it's quickly just become like next available. Makes sense. DeadX LOL, thank you for the follow. Any chance to speak on the team's idea for what traps will be, if any, like static or dynamic, etc.? All I can say is we've talked about traps and environmental hazards, and it's one of those things that we just need to get more in. I think it's easy to not think about them as we're going sometimes, but we probably need to just do a concerted pass in some areas. But we can do them in a few different ways already. We just need to do them. Like they can be static or fairly dynamic or random. How many tattoos do I have? I don't know. I have one sleeve, one on my leg, one on my back, my ribs, my chest, my wrist. I think that's it. Not a ton. Zen Zero, yep. That was definitely intentional. Lower back tat reveal. I have a female ogre on my lower back. I have a female ogre tramp stamp. Same, yeah. It makes sense. Why wouldn't you? As soon as I saw her in game, I was like, yep, alright, well that's happening this week. You've got a Dave & Buster's tat on your face? You know what? Given the age range of a lot of the people in our community, I wouldn't be shocked. Shocking number of face tattoos these days. I remember back when that was a big deal. When should we expect more races to be open to play? The first major update, the Module 1, after we go into early access, will provide the first 2 additional races that you can play. And then it'll just kind of be module by module. But, you know, the goal is to try to get them out in a fairly timely manner. Let me check. What is on this spawn group? It's been a while since I've been in here. Show all. Are you adding monster spawn points in the map right now? I am, actually. So I'm going through and adding and moving and adding monster spawns into this map because I've moved around a bunch of the geometry in here. And right now I'm looking up on our table. I'm looking up in our DB. You can't see it because it's behind chat, but I basically got a tool open that lets me see which monsters are a part of the NPC spawn group that's associated with this table. That still doesn't help you. Anyway. And then I just wanted to come back through and double check what was actually in here. Have you ever considered doing unlockable races like you talked about for race class combos, faction, comrade, lizardman? We haven't talked about it really, and if we have, maybe in like a, you know, kind of a, when we're bullshitting around or brainstorming or whatever kind of session. We've talked about a play as a monsters system in the past, and we'll probably explore that before we do too many unlockables. But if we decide for whatever reason that we're not into that system anymore, don't think we can, you know, do what we want to do with it or whatever, then or maybe, I don't know, they're mutually exclusive, we might go more towards that. But what's up, Dark Inside? If the main entrance on left isn't harder to see the left monsters because walls covering it? If the main entrance on the left, oh yeah, that would be really nice of you, Nick. Folks have asked in the VOD comments as well about Euro folks not getting a chance at Alpha Key giveaways. So we could absolutely do that. That'd be cool. That'd be nice for them. If the main entrance on the left isn't it harder to see the left monsters because the wall is covering it? Yes. So you would actually, you're going to come down here. And then so, that's a good point though. Let's make sure that we've got both things that you can identify, but also things that scare you. Thoughts on the New World shutdown? I mean, it's a bummer for those guys because they were just turning it around. I was just telling my wife like how cool it was that they were able to like take the game and grind and fix it and get it going, and that people were hyped on it again. So it's a shame, but that's I mean, that's one of the challenges with leaving your fate. Well, that's not a fair way to say it. That's one of the downsides to being owned by a big company. Hey, Classic EverQuest. What's up, Jazz Cabbage? Are all the races going to have starter cities, or will there just be a few large cities at different races starting? Every race will have a racial city. Complete Nerve, thank you for the follow. Yeah, it is the overall layoffs because they're laying off 30,000 people just across the board. But Okay, Nick's gonna stream after I'm done, so we'll segue to that. So those of you that have like specific questions related to classes, abilities, combats, you know, gameplay and stuff, definitely stick around for that and take those questions there. I'll keep deflecting. Nuxalot3, thank you for the follow. Temptation said, we're almost to the 10-day, ladies and gents. Who's hyped? Been personally fiending like crackhead. Yep. The 10-day open play test starts on the 1st. So you get to, if you haven't been in a play test before, you get to play for free for 10 days. You can make a character now and get ready and all that good stuff. Well, no, you can't. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Because we would have to have those servers up, right? I'm like completely brain dead at this point in the day. Oh, and we hit. Oh, you're right. That's correct, right? Okay. My bad. I just never do it, so I forget. Because we had a point when you couldn't, but I guess we fixed that. Yeah, we hit 20,000 in Discord. That's pretty fantastic. Lord Corgi, thank you for the follow. Body pillows of the staff win? Now you're starting to worry me. Nukeslot said, need to fill the void EQ left after I stop playing it. This will definitely do. Well, we welcome you. Convert a bunch of these volumes back down to just points for now. Clean it up in here a little bit. Because now there's a little bit more sort of wandering that you gotta worry about here. One. What in the world? Why is that doing that? Try this again. Okay. The tavern in music's so fitting, but often outnoised by people fighting mobs downstairs. That's, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's okay though. That's fitting, isn't it? That seems appropriate. The occasional like combat in the tavern. I still want to get in some bar fights. Don't let me forget to get those in eventually. I want to get in some random bar fights in different taverns. One of these streams where it's a little bit more chill or whatever. Remind me to put in some bar fights. Oh, I want to put in a wacky thing today, and I was going to save it for the stream. It's not like complex or a big deal. But maybe we'll pause this in a minute and go do that. Filling this town with Mike from Monsters Inc. Big money bags, yeah. You just got to put little legs on it. Okay, the giveaway started. The giveaway started for people that are actually up and around during the stream. Oh, I was like, nothing's going on. I scrolled, so it paused my chat, and I was like, really? That's it for the giveaway? Any plans to add anti-aliasing? Is there no anti-aliasing at the moment? That's a good question for Zilith or Ali. Temptation says, I think it's just off by default, if I remember correctly. Hopefully it doesn't frustrate you guys when I'm just like, you ask a question, it's a good question. I'm just like, you're going to have to ask this other person. But the reason why I do that is because these games are big. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I don't want to try to like bullshit you and act like I know everything, because I absolutely don't. It's not my job to know everything. My job is to hopefully know who knows the thing. Dude, why does that keep happening? Interesting. What's up, Javastine? Whose job is it to know everything? You want to talk to him? Ali has to know everything. Top Keck Gaming, first time chatter, trying to sneak in the giveaway. What? Keep an eye on you, fella. Where's Ali? Ali hopefully is in bed resting. Ali's had a really bad headache, and it's probably because he works too much. Ali is a beast. He's got a lot of stuff going on at all times, and I'm amazed by his stamina. Meadowlarking, what's going on? Ali as in skateboarding, it's spelled A-L-I like Muhammad Ali. But I say Ali like skateboarding. Oh, that was another almost burp. And according to Ali, who does hopefully know his name, he said that as the correct pronunciation. Big Money Bags, thank you for the follow. Is that all for the giveaway? Exclamation mark giveaway to get a be in the running for a closed alpha access. But if you get in the closed alpha, warning in advance, if you get in the closed alpha and we find you misbehaving, being mean, not reporting bugs and using them to your benefit, We see things. It'll go in your permanent record, even if we don't say anything. Permanent record, guys. But be on your best behavior. You hope yours is empty? Well, that's on you. That's not a us thing. There's no hoping to it. Have you been a turd? If you've been a turd, then there's a chance that we may... Imagine finding your new potential home forever and pissing all over it. I mean, some people cannot help themselves. NDA for closed testing. We'd prefer that you keep it on the DL and you don't share like footage and, you know, you don't spend all your time talking about it and stuff like that. But do we know how many are selected from the giveaway? I don't know actually. I am only the front man on this one. It is all happening behind the scenes. It says 5 on Discord. Yep. Oh, did Nick post it on the Discord? That's why I'm seeing all you new names in here. You folks that can't be bothered to come to the stream if there's no giveaway. I know who you are. I'm seeing you right now. I'm watching them scroll by. You're going on my list. On the list. Permanent record. Nick trapped you. You didn't realize that I'm a honeypot. Sneaky Russian said I secretly pop in here when I see you streaming all at work. Spatsiba. I'm just watching chat right now. Fascinated by you guys. Sneaky Russian, you собака. Go back to work. Hey Killabach, what's going on? No. Alright, well then don't. Don't go back to work. I'm not the boss of you. I can't tell you what to do. You're not the boss of me, robot. Don't post this giveaway in Pantheon's Discord. Don't do that. Sin, don't. Be nice. Be a nice boy. Thought I raised you better than that. Yeah, there's definitely some crossover. Hey, speaking of crossover, you know who I talked to last week? It was great to hear from him. We Eminem folks, had a little chat with them. Was talking to the Embers Adrift guys. Those guys are still grinding. I wanna get them on stream sometime soon, just to talk about like their journey to date and challenges they ran into and like what they've been doing lately and all of that stuff. Every conversation we've had with the Embers guys has been cool. They're good people. They just added an amazing adornment system that lengthens content through the dungeon system. Nice. Yeah, I mean, they're still just like, they're still grinding away on it. Like the idea of Embers, but it's too low fantasy for me. I didn't know what I would think about the setting, and when I got in and played, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I thought it was a nice kind of change up and stuff. Any new professions coming in November test? I don't know. No, like entirely new? I don't think so. We're doing a lot of work on the back end on crafting right now, so. You enjoyed Embers before they changed the names and after? Oh, way back in the day. Nick said, gonna run this giveaway soon. Make sure you get your entries in and tell your friends and family, etc. Well, generic, they're still going, man. They're still working, and I respect that. Dude, the giveaway is still going. Look at you guys. Dysfunctional, glad to hear it. We're glad to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Let's call out all of the first-time chatters that are just first-time chatting due to giveaway. All right, let me make this screen bigger so we can see all these boogers coming in here. Barnsworth, Thwankles, scrolling up. Ridley Plays, Delaface, Snug Wobblesham, Snug Wobbleham. That's a cute name. Hackmanity. It won't let me scroll any higher. Whatever. Stupid Twitch. All that Amazon money, you can't even scroll higher than that. Crap turd. Hopefully they don't cancel Twitch too. Yonk 1550. Archibald, thank you for the follow. Archibald doing it right, giving us a follow while trying to get in the giveaway. All right. Holy shit, look at that. Stuicus, Thadvic, Exec, Big Money Bags Woo. You just got in here and you won. Look at you, lucky duck. Antidextrous, congrats, you guys. Whisper, Nick, your M&M account email and Discords. Valhalla 1510, Rockwall, thank you for the follows. Congrats, you guys. Hey, don't forget, do not forget. Hey, and look at you guys being good sports. I want to read it out again just in case you missed it. Stuicus, Thadvic, Exec. I mean, it's Exec in our, there's probably, it means something, I don't know. Big Money Bags Woo and Antidextrous won. And congrats to you guys for being good sports. Also, Dadbig's been around for a good while, so that's nice. So I would say sorry the alpha is so top heavy. Good luck in there. Do you think, is that true? Do you think that's true? There's no low end players? I don't know. I hop on my I'll hop on my little Necro and I'll look and see if there's a group, because I'm like, maybe I want to play long enough to go group with her. I'll be in like Sungreet and there'll be 10, 15 people in Sungreet that are low levels. It's really rough for lower and mid levels. So what you're saying is we should just do a wipe. Put more people in or wipe it? Or boot people that aren't playing? Well, beta is coming, so 266 key giveaway will fix it, you think? At what point can I just buy an alpha key? Are you a multi-millionaire? Liz said, hey Sean, before I start my stream, will there be a play stress likely between the end of the beginning of November test and the new year? Got 42 hours to burn and I got stiffed for November play test. I think that's a fair. How does English work? That's a fair bet? Assumption? Thank you, German wife, for the English. That's a fair assumption. Yeah. I'm losing my English. Is beta pledge only? No, we don't take money for, the only time we're gonna take, Liz says hi, by the way, Jasmine. Words are hard. Sehr gut, mein Freund. Ja. Mein Englisch ist schlecht jetzt. We don't take money for testing. Until early access. Then we do. Then it's $15 a month. Will beta be a continuation of alpha servers or will those be fresh? I don't think we've stated yet. Will there be a wipe during EA? No. Once we start EA, then that's that. If anything gets too out of control or broken or whatever, then we, like we wake up one day and you guys have duped the shit out of something. In the absolute worst case, maybe we do a rollback to like a previous save that's near term, but like, no. And that'd be like That would be a big deal for us. Can you say, Biggest Dick is asked, can you say who won again? Are you just trying to get me to say your name? If it's still up there, there's a bunch of you in here in your chatty Cathys. I can't because it scrolled off my screen. I don't know how to get it back. I know Thadvik won. And I know Big Money Bags Woo won. You did not win. This is fair. That is, if that's what you're looking for. Trust me, if Biggest Dick is won, I would definitely remember. It would be a big deal. Stuicus, Thadvik, Exec, Big Money Bags Woo, and Antidextrous. That's it. How big is the M&M team? The M&M team is sitting around 38 people. Those of you that are new here, that's a fair point. Some of you may be new. Whether it be because you are from Discord and you've never been in here before, or it's because we're in the software and game development channel. Yes, is that what it's called? It's been years, I think, since we've been in here. Back in the day, years ago, when we were, we had a bit smaller community. We actually started we started streaming before we had our own category in the software development channel. And yeah, that's how we met some of the folks that are longtime community members now. And yeah, since then we have the game's gotten bigger. It's evolved quite a bit. If you're not familiar with the game, we are a completely volunteer-based so many burps. We're a completely volunteer-based indie MMORPG. We're self-funded. We've paid all the expenses out of pocket so far. We are really dedicated to being as transparent as possible. So if you go to our website, you can see who we are. That's that. But you can also learn more about early access on the appropriately named early access page. Like I said, we try to be as transparent as possible. So we post all of our VODs to YouTube. I think at this point we've got like 900 VODs or something. We've been in development since 2020. In 2020, it was the three of us, Ollie, Nick, and I, and then Bunny off and on, and some other people off and on. But it was really, that was kind of the core. And we slowly grew the team from like 2021 on up. If you're curious, like, about the development history, we try to show you all that. So you can come to this page, development history. Hey Sneers, welcome back. Is it your birthday? Oh, it is your birthday. Hey, happy birthday. But you can see here like the progression of the team, and like the features or the people that were added and when, and then the features kind of as they rolled online. But other things you can look at, we've got our roadmaps posted. And we've got, we even break down like what we've spent on the project today. And the reason why we do that is because we want to show you, well, we want to give you some insight into like game development from our point of view, at least, right? That's why we started in this channel a long time ago. And so you can see how we spent our cash. And this is the totality over the course of 2020 to December. And then we update it. You can also, like, we'll update it again this year. So January through December of 2024 breakdown, right? And you can watch progression. But we're also going to show this as we go live, and so it'll be something where we want to be able to show you like how well the project's doing, what money we're bringing in, where we're bringing it in from in terms of like, you know, is it from merch? Is it from subscriptions or whatever? And then what we're spending the money on. So you can kind of watch how we're approaching the continued development of the project. Yeah. So anyways, there's more to it. If you have specific questions, if you're new here, ask. I'll try to answer them. If you've got questions about the classes and abilities, gameplay, and things like that, if you want to probably be a part of another round of alpha key giveaways, stick around after this stream. Nick will be streaming. He'll do that if I had to guess. So do you have a video explaining the backstory of how Nick, Ollie got drunk at that bar, got into a brawl, and that started this whole thing? How we got into, yeah, no. Well, we had like an old video that kind of showed that, the actual fight sequence. Thank you, Akila Bach, for the kind words. Turtle WoW folder? What, on my desktop? I mean, there's a... Nosy. You nosy guys, you. Oh, they were talking about your bookmark on your browser? Oh, is that okay? Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's there as well. What else is being divulged? It's just normal stuff, I guess. Dude, you have plans for selling concept art as posters, right? Yeah. We want to sell you all sorts of cool stuff. We did some samples from the, we did some samples back in the day of, some printed stuff, and it turned out pretty well. I don't have any crypto. I just have a folder about it. I'm old and curious. Here, actually, I'll show you something. Pants confirmed. Yeah, I am actually wearing pants today. I just in case I had to stand up. It's an unusual day. Like it was just a sample to see like what print quality would be on some different things. So we you know, a couple years ago we did some merch. And it turned out well. I mean, some of the stuff's better than others, but as we're getting closer to redoing the merch shop and getting it up, like we want to have a ton of this stuff. We love merch. We just gotta confirm a few things, and then at some point feel appropriate for feel that it's appropriate to take your cash. We just, like I said, I think like we've all said, we don't want to take your money until we have a game. It's different now. If you want to support the guys that are streaming, that's different. Please do. Like every little sub or whatever you do to support the team members that are streaming definitely helps them out. So is Nick still on the cold brew? I think he had to chill out a little bit. I think he had to rein that behavior in. Signed merch is harder to do because we're distributed across... Bill, how many countries are we and states are we distributed across? Nicodemus has a map that shows like where the whole team is. We range from the wonderful island of Bahrain in the exotic Middle East all the way across Switzerland, Germany, Spain, Finland, Sweden. Hopefully I didn't miss any of our other Euros. Yeah, we're in like 14 time zones. M&M convention, we'll have to find a center point though where we could all meet. I'm thinking in Atlantis. First M&M fanfare will be in Atlantis. Any Polish member on the team? I don't believe so. Surprisingly. Vegas would be cool. I would definitely do Vegas. I would fly in for Vegas. Don't pick the city where EQs had their first. I remember going to the EQ fanfare when I was a brand new customer service rep in Vegas when it was at the Bellagio or whatever. That was pretty tight. That was exciting for a poor CS member like myself. Maybe that'll be something you guys have to vote on at some point. We'll let the fans decide. Really? What's going on with this? Sean's house? I don't have a backyard, unfortunately. I have a garden, but the garden is like 2 kilometers away from my house. We could all meet at the garden. mean at the airsoft range? I wish there was an airsoft range. That would be good. Hot Spring Resort Convention? Keep in mind, this is not a Sony Online production. There will be no hot tub incidents here. All right, so get that out of your head. Wasn't that Blizzard? No, that was very much SOE as well. The guys, listen, game development in the early 2000s was just you know, it was just different. Dyro, take care. Sorry, hopefully that comment isn't what chased you out. They're like, I'm out of here. Or maybe he was like, what? No hot tub incidents? I'm done with this stream. I gotta do some stuff later. Okay, cool. I got worried. I get self-conscious. Oh shit, some people followed 5 minutes ago and 1 minute ago. DareBear69. Nice. Scampunk, thank you for the follows. Biggest Dickus, thank you for the follow. Please keep coming back so that I must keep saying your name. Who knows what color Sean's bikini will be? I can just tell you. Chartreuse. Chartreuse. Not black? Nope. Not leopard print. Paul Carrico. Dude. Sorry, I just doxed you. I mean, P. Carrico. I read it the exact same way. I read it this and I was like, I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into it. Wow, talk about timing. Holy shit. Oh, man. Excuse the screeching of the freezer in the background. I absolutely, I think that's amazing timing. I don't know what else to say. It is pathing. Well, it's go-tos. The mobs path without this. But what we do is when we're placing mobs, we can have like you can't see it here. Here, let me do this for you. See if this works. There we go. So we have the ability to basically set like if I click on one of these, we have a mob spawn and it goes through just like a series of commands. And in that last case, like the one that we're just looking at here, this guy spawns and he immediately just starts going through go-to routes. So point to point to point. And then he goes home, and then I just caught a bug. I'm glad you asked. He goes home at the end of it, which is now under me. That doesn't help you either. How about I put it in the middle? So index 11, go home. Index 12, set active command 0. And he just goes up to 0 here and starts over. So this guy's dead simple, just kind of walking in circles. He's kind of undead. Makes sense. It's not a big deal. But we can have, you know, we can have any number of commands going on. That's, right? Like, we just have a simple list of commands, and then some of the commands can skip around in the index, so we can create little loops and stuff like that. Terminator 75, take care. Have a great day at work the rest of your day. Can you make more random pathing? Yeah, so let's show you that next. That one's super easy. So what we'll do is we'll move this back over here, and we'll click on one of these volumes, right? Here, it'll be a little bit of a spoiler, but there's not many of you in here, so it's not going to go too far. And those of you that have been up here before, you've already seen her. It's not a big deal. It's not like you know why or anything. But like, we have this NPC, and she wanders around in the volume. So what will happen is she'll spawn anywhere in this volume, right? And we can make the volume bigger, or smaller, or whatever. Obviously, she spawns anywhere in here, and then she's got a 10% chance. Let me move that over some more. She's got a 10% chance to pause for 5 to 15 seconds, right? Because it's pause duration 10 seconds, pause variance 5, so it's 10 plus minus. But then what's fun is on pause, she can. This is also a bug. I'm glad I'm doing that. I wouldn't have caught that before. That's great. Because I forgot. Oh, because I've deleted her wander in volume earlier when I was moving this around and then never set it back up properly. So thank you for catching that bug. You guys are great. And so she will, and I put that in the wrong spot. Cool. So she will pause and then hop over to saying this. And as soon as she says it, she'll go to set active command 0, and she'll go back to wandering in volume again. So she wanders randomly, stops, says, I'm sorry, blah, 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 and then goes back at it. And so, yeah, there's just different things that we can do in a very simple way with this editor. Are you modifying the mob stats as you do these, or they're already set? They're already set. So what it is essentially the way that it works is, I've got this other thing, this editor that allows me to here, which lets me pick which mobs are going to spawn, and that's by basically taking an NPC spawn group. And a group is essentially an encounter table where you can set up as many NPCs as you want, and you give them a probability of spawning. And we can set, you know, spawn timer. Is it triggered? Is it a normal timer? Is it set to a specific spawn time? We can have it set to be, if it's triggered, conditional, right? So it's like they only spawn at night. They only spawn during the day, which is this day-night table here, or they only spawn at 5 p.m. Somebody asked earlier if the Undead Parade is going to continue in this zone. Yeah, it's not being affected at all. And yeah, so this just gives us the ability to like set the type of spawn. Is it a point? Is it a spherical volume? Is it a cube volume? Do they spawn and then not depop? So like no despawn would be they spawn during the day, but they then no longer spawn at night because there's a night spawn that takes over, but they don't depop. And we use that in one place to basically have these archaeologists that spawn during the day. At night, they don't depop like the other day-night cycle mobs do, but then the night mobs are, you know, undead that come and eat them, and then they don't respawn because it's not daytime. So stuff like that. And then these guys are on this list because we've created NPC spawn groups. The NPC spawn groups are made of NPC records. The NPC records are what define all the stats and things like that. So, yeah. And you know, like we're able to do something like have the parade that was discussed. It's very simple. At a certain time, mobs spawn and they just start pathing to a certain point, and then they do a thing. That little mini event that I mentioned is like dead simple. It's you got day spawns, you got night spawns. They don't like each other. We have a button that makes sure these guys don't go away at night, but they do stop respawning. The night spawns come, and because of the faction difference, they attack them. They're more powerful. They eat them, and then it's night spawns. The undead and stuff keeps respawning until daytime. They disappear, and then the daytime spawns take over again, right? So it's like it's dead simple to set up. And we could even do something like that in a second, actually. Matter of fact, that might be a nice segue. I might just hit save here, and then we'll go over and set something like that up. I think we're good here. So let's. We've probably saved in here. Save anyway, because we've been moving stuff around. Let's see. I hit save. Are those saves set up to post to a server? So the saves that I did prior to this, right now I'm saving the scene because I've been messing with the geo in there, right? And we're switching to a different scene. Whoops, let me disable zone spawns. But the previous saves that popped up where you saw the little blue dealy, those were essentially just saving straight to the DB. All this is it's just an interface for us to interface to our database, right? And so let me see, make sure there's nothing super secret or whatever. So we've got our design database. It's very simple relational DB. And you know, all of our various tables that we basically make up the content of the game. And it's just for all types of stuff. And so what we're looking at here is an NPC record. It's got a ton of fields naturally, because we're setting what language does it speak, what faction is it on, what appearance does it have, all of those things, right? So it's this different stats, and so there's a bunch in there, though I believe most of the stats are just kind of derived from like a base sort of archetype, or like maybe a constant table that's set up or whatever. For the most part, we don't go in and twiddle a lot of stats. We may play with like different flags and stuff, like, you know, no slow, no root, or whatever, no mez. So anyways, we've got this, and if I was running the game right now, which I could, I guess, instead of being in the scene view, I was in the scene view because I was editing the actual art of the scene earlier. The cool thing about working in Unity in the way that we have it set up is that as a designer, I can come in and, like, I added some camps in here recently. And so I don't have to wait on an environment artist. I can just grab the props, put them in here, save the scene, maybe update the nav mesh so that the pathing accounts for the new props, and then go. But when I'm actually in the game instead of in the scene view, I can just be in there playing naturally. I can modify the data, reload the data on the fly, and see the changes. So basically anything that was modified in here, I just grab it immediately and I can see it on the dev server. Camps were very busy during the stress test. Great area for new levelers. Nice. I'm glad they're paying off. So we got some new camps there, and I've been putting in new camps along here as well as people progress in levels. Yeah, so Darkwind said, do you think you could modify the Wandering Necropolis Guard's pathing to not kill Night Terror when it spawns so new players can get that quest reward? Every time it spawns in a certain area, a guard will yeet it from existence. I mean, maybe, but the guards are kind of... I mean, they're kind of out of the way, so it's like... I don't know. I understand the desire. I'm just not sure if it's kind of adds to sort of the dynamic feel of it. You know what I mean? It's like it's out of our hands. Or is that a bad answer? Keyframe said, when you're populating mobs and routes, do you pre-plan it or kind of vibe it out? Oftentimes, once we get the art in, we'll go back and forth, right? So it'll be a matter of, it's not like heavily pre-planned, no. But we get a feel for the space. Once we get the space set up, then we can kind of look and go, all right, where do we think the mob should go? Some spaces are designed with the mobs in mind. So a dungeon may be more specific, or a certain structure or area may be more specific. But a lot of it is just kind of going back and forth and riffing a bit. So if we look here and we load up the data for this zone. Shasha said, really neat, really cool tooling system, fun to see behind the scenes, especially as a DBA DevOps guy. Yeah, I mean, it's simple but powerful. Like it works really well for our needs. So that's why, you know, we've taken the approach that we did. So here, I'm going to enable the data for this zone. Mentioned to Nick last stream that the guards path the whole newbie area and get stuck out there, so it's not good at the moment. You know what? We can go look at that in a second before we do this even. Hold on one second. Let me answer this question that gets into me. There you go. Agreed strand, calling distance. And so here you can see, like if I show you, this tool allows us to kind of call and modify how much data we see. So now you can kind of see the amount of, and it actually kills my frame rate. There's so many of these nodes. You can see there's a lot going on here. So this area here is new. That's been updated. So, and then there's work being done right here. Let's go see if we can address that issue. That's Tsunami-san and folks. People wonder why MMOs take so much time. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. If you want to see a crazier zone, let's go to a crazier zone. Since we might be able to fix the button. The bug, whatever. English. Disable. So we'll disable this, and we'll go into Night Harbor. Because that's always fun to look at. There's no wood in the forest up to the north for some reason? Oh, interesting. We'll have to fix that. Well, if we don't go look at it during the stream, post in our Discord and tag Rift. All right, so let's load the sub scenes. The Night Harbor is broken into a bunch of sub scenes because it's very big. Notice the lack of wood on the way to Glass Flats last test? Okay. Is taming a trainable skill that can be learned by everyone? I'm unsure at this time, and I'm curious if we're sure at this time. All right, so here's Night Harbor. We'll do a similar thing real quick so you can kind of see Night Harbor in action in terms of the number of spawns. Night Harbor. And the Hang, thank you for the follow. Alright, here's Night Harbor. And my frame rate immediately just shits the bed. And it's still in progress, believe it or not. Night Harbor's still got some work that needs to be done. So let's rein that in a little bit. So keep in mind, when we had, just as kind of like a, I don't know, a point of pride, it was this much, this many entities and 1,000 players in the last stress test. In this zone, one zone. In this humble MMO zone. So, very proud of the guys, very proud of the team for this accomplishment. Because this is like the worst case scenario. Plus pets. Plus there's volumes. I mean, I guess I think I can open the volume tool. If the stream crashes, it's just because my computer at some point stopped wanting to work because I was rendering crap. So show volumes. Those are additional volumes. And then let's go to mud action tool. Night Harbor. Yeah, my frame rate's not good at the moment. So what happens here then in game when this gets translated? Is this 100% server side, or does some of this information get transferred to the client and the client is holding on to some of this too as it communicates back to the server? I'm guessing what I'm asking is, how does this affect the performance of both the server and client? To the best of my understanding, and Napoleon, I am not the tech guy. The vast majority, if not all of this, is transmitted from the server to the client at runtime based off a sphere of influence system. So what it is there's an area, a sphere of influence. Obviously, I guess those words make a English phrase. And the sphere of influence calls. Okay, Sneaky Russian's got it covered. Yeah, there's entity calling based on the sphere of influence from your character's client. Thank you, Sneaky Russian. Trying to get a new computer by causing this one to catch on fire. And then it will burn down my desk. And then my wife will be able to give me the standing desk that she wants to buy me. I actually thought about that earlier today, and I was like, I might actually go for the standing desk, believe it or not. All right, so let's go find this. Let's go find this errant guard that you guys are unhappy about. When will fist weapons be craftable for classes? That is a good question for Rift in Discord or Nick in the next stream. And the next stream is going to be coming up, and then you guys will You guys will be able to ask a lot of those. I had a standing, like a permanent standing desk at one of the companies I worked at, and it was okay. I dug it. We're talking about getting a one that goes up and down so I can still sit down like during streams and stuff. All right, so which guard is the problematic guard? Varidesk has been awesome with full customizable presets. Varidesk. Jasmine is on it. Which guard is the problem? Only thing I ever saw with the guards there is once it's off into an area, they then wipe everything. Yeah, I mean, it's bound to happen. Ones that roam the center of the field, those are the whatchamacallits, the recruits that are the concourse trainees. Well, the Necropolis guards are going to go out there just because they get pulled out because they're killing things. So would you prefer that the Necropolis guards be more static, or are they not helping you guys? Are they not worthwhile? Should they just be standing on the edge? The north one is the issue. The north one would be this way. They're too intrusive? Everybody gets to play on November 1st. Okay, so should I just rein in the Wandering Guards and see how that goes for a while? I can make that happen. It's real easy. What I'll do is I'll make it so that the guard no longer wanders. That's this guard right here. And what we'll do is we'll delete these. Alright, so he no longer does any wandering. And we'll move him away from the mobs a little bit. Yeah, that's the son of a bitch that stole my kill so many times. Okay. Okay, cat. Well, the guard will still be here. You just got to run to him. Alright, so he's out of the way now. The guards that will run down the stairs can KS as well, but then that's kind of that. Ultimately, if they run down here and start chain killing stuff, you're just gonna have to. You'll have to be okay about that. And then this guard is... These mobs are really close to this guard, so they're probably going to always aggro them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this narrower. We're going to pull it out of the way over here a little bit. A little bit. Make it a little bit longer. P. Carico, are you still out there? Are you still in, You still on the stream? Maybe not. Okay. All right. So I think that's got the 2 guards. You guys gonna? This won't be in for the next playtest, the coming playtest, unless we pull data, which kind of hoping we're pretty locked at this point. So, but the next playtest it should be in there. And then anybody that's like in the closed testing, they'll see it next time we push. So everything has a cone of vision, right? I'm wondering why that's not displayed. Because it's not really showing, like it's showing you the spawn direction. See the little pointy nose? But it's not really, it's not truly representative of the entity. We have discussed again, every couple of months we discuss the idea of like, wouldn't it be cool if this pulled, we could see the little goblin head, or it would pull the, you know, like the top mob, the top NPC or whatever NPC is on the NPC spawn group, and then we could kind of see how things actually really fit in. But the fact that we can load up the data in the zone and like see the changes immediately negates a little bit of a need for that. What's going on, Sparrow? All right, so if that fixed your concern in Night Harbor, we're going to get back out of Night Harbor and get back to Sungreet Strand. Stuff and Things is good. You know what we'll do? We'll pull. Now you can't say that I don't get anything done on stream. Those of you that are tuning into the stream for the first time, you're like, wow, this looks slow as shit. I try to more and more like remind people, a little disclaimer. It's 9 p.m. on my end. I wake up at like 5:30 in the morning with my wife. And then sometime after that, probably about 7, 8 or whatever, I'm already kind of like catching up on Slack. And then we come in and I sit my super tired, super sore ass from sitting down in this chair so much, and then just kind of like start working away. By the time we hit the stream hours of the evening, it's kind of like I'm just mainly here after work to BS with you guys and direct you to people who can answer your questions. Mr. Cow said, listen, I've watched this go from capsule mobs and one very rough zone to what we got now. It's pretty weird. It's pretty weird that happened, to be honest with you. Let me grab latest. So I got the latest data. Oh, my wife's measuring my desk. Good job, guys. How big? Huge. Don't say it's small. Not in front of my friends. What is it? 45 centimeters? 45 centimeters is only this big. I'm sorry, I metriced out. Freedom unit. 115 centimeters. We're gonna see a face on stream? No, you weirdos. She avoids you guys like the plague. Do you have an in-editor gizmo for LOS issues? We don't. While you're at Sungreet Strand, the goblin camps near Telekir outside or up on a slightly raised platform. If you pull and reset them, they glitch halfway in the ground and cannot be casted on. That is probably, that might be a nav mesh issue, which I will not be fixing tonight. Is my wife German? She is German. Throbgrave said, having played nearly every test, it's insane to see the progress made each time. You guys can tell it's a real passion project. Yeah, the team is incredible. I, you know, without bias, without bullshit, I can just say that, you know, the amount that the team's capable of doing just as part-time volunteers is just really blown me away. Rix3366, thank you for the follow. Anyway, what was I doing? I was gonna hop in. Don't save. Scampunk said, I appreciate seeing the side of dev work. I never have. I'm interested in it. Mob placement, pathing, like making a thing like that. My brain equated it straight to Metal Gear Solid and Radar System. Feel like I want to mess around making a little stealth game now. You should. I mean, grab Unity, grab Unreal, grab Godot. They're out there. And there's so many great tutorials. Oh, we strongly encourage people, like, just get started. This icon back here on my desktop, Dual Eclipse. Someone in our community reached out and linked on LinkedIn, and we talked a little bit about game dev. He had done some game jams before and had a couple game jam ideas in his portfolio. Was interested in game dev. Was like, we talked about the one, you know, the card game that he had, and was like, that seems really cool. Why don't you go for it? And he just worked on it, and boom, like, it's on Steam. You can play it. It's super cool. Check it out, Dual Eclipse. So just get started. Let's see if we can get in game. Wingbird said, Ich liebe Monsters and Memories. That is nice. Vielen Dank. Und wie sagt man das? Wir lieben euch auch? Ja. Can I buy alpha and beta access? You can't buy us, fool. We've got integrity. DM for Bitcoin address. You can't buy us. How dare you? Monero. I am insulted. It's dark in here. Need to report a bug. I didn't get picked for the alpha key giveaways. Stick around. The next stream coming up. The next stream coming up is going to be Nick. We're going to raid him, and he may make your alpha key dreams come true. Oh, have you not seen how cute my gnome is? I have a backpack. ZBrush is on too. See? You got options. Got a backpack. I got a floppy hat. Does my dress have pockets though? My dress does have pockets. See? Don't look at that. Don't look at that. That might be a bug. Fix it. We'll fix it. We'll pretend like my shoulders did not turn into Stormtrooper. There we go. Never happened. Any future plans to add roller bags? Warfield, Dwarf Lord, that idea is why you are the Dwarf Lord. That is some thinking right there. I don't think we've ever discussed roller bags. Once we get carts in that you can pull, then we could potentially make a roller bag. It is sandy. It wouldn't roll worth the shit here. Let's get real. Any plans to have plain clip for people with lag issues due to personal system specs? It's come up. I don't know why outside of potential technical limitations or whatever, I don't know why we wouldn't have it. But it's one of those things that we would have to like sort of stack in the queue of stuff that we need to get done. But I can imagine that it's something that we could do. And we realize like if your machine's just like a potato that can't run it. I mean, I've got a 2070 Super in this video card wise, right? So I'm kind of almost there with you if you've got like a work laptop or whatever it is that's struggling. It would be cool to do the thing, pull in the clipping plane and stuff. Dabbin watching 420. Appreciate the name. There's consistency throughout that name. Just picked up an ultra wide. Does Eminem support ultra wide resolutions? So 3440, 1440. It does? Okay. I don't have an ultra wide, so I wouldn't know. Mine's apparently very small. Liz does, though. I was going to say ask first. If you ever want to talk about anything hardware related in detail, go into our Discord and ping first. First, I don't understand how he fits all of it into his brain. He's like calling processors by their pet names. He's telling you like which firmware did what to what video card at what point in the last like 2 years. I'm astounded by the amount of retention that First has. So if you ever have a question, and the thing is, you can also just ask him random D&D lore. No, it's not just hardware. Like ask him a random thing. Like I might have pulled inspiration from a D&D module where I was looking at something. I was like, that's kind of cool, and put it in there. And this is kind of when we were first talking to First, and he was like, and he just went, hey, is that from such and such? And I'm like, really? So yeah, if you ever have questions, Dysfunctional said Discord helped me get both Linux and Windows installed on both M1 and M2. Discord as a solution. Yeah, Discord it's up there, and if you ever just really aren't getting the answer you're looking for or whatever, ping First in Discord, or ping one of us to ping him for you. He's got like super incredible recall. See you, Coot. You getting ready for bed? About to be that time, huh? Okay. Be up there in a bit. Yeah, so essentially we had mentioned, is it this one? I think it's the next one over. GM speed on. We'll come over here. And so just to kind of show you like a real quick, for those of you that are new and haven't seen it before, what we can do is we can place a couple spawns really fast here. And load up Sungreet's brand. Enable. And I'll show you what it looks like in the, like our ability to bounce between like scene view and game view. So it's kind of froze for a second as it's loading the data. Has the music been too loud? I'm looking over, I just finally looked at like Streamlabs and I'm looking at the little audio monitor and it seems like music pretty freaking loud. Been good? Okay, solid. Perfect. Alright, so if we're here, let me just tag myself so it's easier to get there. That's me. Handsome. Alright, so now you're seeing the little spawners that are spawning the wood right there. And so we can now go. We'll look for SGS. Oh, I know what the step that I failed to do earlier when I was setting this up in case I wanted to show it tonight is stream. Let me do the step that hey, what's up, Tupac? That I should have done earlier. So we'll grab the NPCs and we'll grab the NPC spawn group. We'll make spawn groups really fast. Valen said, I understand Glassflats is set to be more of a roaming kill zone for all the elementals, but is it possible elementals can swirl around maybe one or two of the large mountains? That way a campfire could be set down. A little bit more static spawns for the elementals. Yeah, we've got to go through that soon and do a little camp cleanup and make it slightly more campable. Maybe fill it in with some mobs, some camps that fill some of the gaps in some of the ranges. Touch up a couple of the existing areas like the cultist, the little hideout, and the bandit camp. So we're going to be hitting that soon. I wanted to hit Sungreet Strand first because it's lower level and we knew, you know, we're just always trying to make sure that the lower levels are kind of squared away in case we have playtests. Let me make this NPC spawn group real quick so that I can spawn these guys. Alright, so insert. We're gonna grab SGS. Made some new little duders for this purpose earlier. Alright, so we'll go 1. 12 through, they're gonna be fighters, 12 through 14. And then we'll go here. I'll show you how we set these up now that I kind of cleaned that up, so nothing secrets being. Have you ever considered putting a randomly spawning mob at a known camp zone with a long respawn timer for the fun of it? Yes, there may be things like that that exist. There may be mobs on long respawn timers with a very low probability of spawning. There may be some mobs that span large areas that are based on a condition, like is it daytime, is it nighttime, is it a certain season, what are the moon phases? We have 3 moons. They go through full moon phase cycles, each one of them, so you get different combinations, which allows us to set up conditions like in this particular set of moon phases this guy may appear. It could be based off of like all sorts of, is there a sandstorm, like what sort of weather event is going on, is a combination of these things. So we want to put that in there so that always a chance that maybe you haven't seen everything. All right, so we got this guy. We'll duplicate this. We'll grab the next guy here. Duplicate this again. We'll grab the next guy here. Cool. And with these, we'll go, for now, we'll just go like 30, 40, 30. Alright, so now we've got this. We can grab it. That's kind of done over here. Then what we'll do is we'll refresh this. It pulls the latest data from the database. How about some bounty hunter mobs that roam the zone looking for claim the heads of group members based on your reputation? That's probably doable. Now the music's a hair loud. Has it gone back down? I think that was like the crescendo, whatever English. How about now? Will there be weather effects like too hot, too cold? Yeah, you should be able to see. We've added in. My UI is all jacked up because I'm in this view. But when you get in, look and see. There's like a little state. It shows you what state you're in, so we can do stuff like that as well. Hey, Kaylorn. Are you under shelter? All right, so. Pistachio says, as beautiful it is, it's actually one thing that bums me out when looking at a night sky. How can the moon be in different phases? It isn't possible when there's only one sun. Depending on the, I guess, relative position of the moon. I don't know. Do you want us to, like, that one maybe, because it's cool. It's cool. Pretend like there's a magic physics. Mainly because, I don't want to bullshit you with an answer. Like, we haven't, I think Ali at some point did say that there was a scientific possibility for it based off something smart. But it's just, it's really cool. Please, yeah, thank you for suspending your disbelief. The dragon physics, the dragons may not be truly aerodynamic either. I know that can sometimes be a sticking point. Escriperi, thank you for the follow. 3-body problem. There you go. Who says there's only one sun? Love that players are thinking about it. Oh yeah, for sure. Rare comet at night might be cool. Yeah, some stuff going on in the skybox is definitely on the list. We have a lot of our lore and stuff, our history of the game involves things happening in the sky and the impact on the world. There's a post on Discord about it. Awesome. Oh, I'm crashing. Caffeine wearing down. Anyway, so I've got our setup here. It's off screen though. And we'll come in here. Let's look at this campfire. Cool. There I am again. And so we can hopefully fairly easily go pop, pop, pop. We'll grab these guys. I have a feeling that until like I don't know. There's something that has to happen sometime. There's a little bug with the tool where I've got to then re-add their spawn group individually. until I think like I unload the data or reload the data once with the new NPC spawn records in. So, but anyways, I take this guy, move him here. Take this guy here. We'll rotate him a little bit like this. Oh, is this more of the hired thugs guys I spotted? It may be the opposite. It may be the guys that are not happy about the hired thug. Is boxing allowed? During testing, it is allowed, and when we go live, there will be box-specific servers. So, and you can learn more about that here. Check out the early access and early access FAQ. OMG, somebody broke the pathing of Necropolis guards, and now Night Terror is running amok, slaughtering newbies. Nice. We did it, guys. Alright, so reload zone. Did I not save the third guy? I didn't. Reload zone. And so there we got our guys. They look, they are very frustrated. In case you did not pick up on it. A hired sword does not have a sword, you're right. Reddit will be on fire. There are several farms, yes. Kat, I was talking about you earlier when I was bragging about just how insane Fallen Watch is going to be, and I was telling everybody that Pattis has been working on it, and you're going to be assisting him with it, and just how crazy of a zone it's going to be. All right, so I want to add a spawn here as well. Where am I? There I am. And I'm going to set this spawn up. Yeah, the dungeon is going to be something else. Cool. Let's turn it 180. All right. And we've got to make another. I think I already have the NPC spawn group for this. The encounter table for it. SGS. What was this guy's name? There we go. Save. Not Farmer Frank, that's the guy. What level range will Fallen Watch be? It'll be on the higher end. But it's so big that we might be able to get a bit of a spread, so. But I don't want to commit on stream. Oh, Dysfunctional said, I look forward to seeing everybody in game. Thanks for the hospitality. Thanks for being here. We will see you in game on Saturday, hopefully. I will not be streaming again until the playtest. Some giant trapdoor spiders would be crazy. Have you been everywhere yet? Alright, so let's just... We're going to test something really fast. We'll set it up like this to test it. Cool, so we got this guy. And then let's check our NPCs and our NPC spawn groups. A Beastmaster, maybe? So I'll just spoil it. I was thinking Shaman for this specific guy. But maybe Beastmaster makes more sense. Any chance there can be a small ghoul camp near an unmarked headstone for necro ghoul skins? Around level 3, kind of a alternative to hatching crocs for people. Interesting. Just so you can farm ghoul skins for your pets, or what? Alright, so we've got this, and we're going to make a new encounter table with that, and we'll call it something that you don't see. Then we'll duplicate row with keys, and we'll add the other guy on here. Boom. We'll just do this like 50. 50. Cool. Now we got this. I thought you could get gold skins on the 7 through 9 section just up the coast. Someone responded. Gunner Wolf responded. Alright, so next. Well, reload the data so I can actually place these guys. Give it a moment. Did it reload? It did. Okay, perfect. So what we'll do is we will place this. Cool. Grab these guys and then we'll stick them here. 180. Save here. 180. And save. I think it'd be cool to see more than one of the higher level Ashira camps. I think level 78-ish in the area, as far as I can tell during stress test, all the camps there were level 5-ish. It goes through 5 through 7, and then it skips up to being a bit higher. It's feasible that we can put in some more mid-range ones Evo. Any scorpions in Sangri? We don't have a scorpion model yet, so that's why you haven't seen any scorpions anywhere. And then we'll new command, move to click. New command. Move to click. Oh, I know. I know how we might do this. No, it's fine to do it this way, actually. It'll be fine. Hey, Plateau. You missed the alpha key giveaway in here. If you stick around, I'm sure that Nick will probably give some away in the next stream. So it's feasible that you can get it soon. Well, you know, an opportunity to roll. I don't know if you'll actually get it. So we got this going on. We'll come over here. We'll have all of these guys just be based off a trigger. We'll make it brighter just because I'm working here. All right. And then for this guy, we'll do something similar. Move to click and then... Hey, Sam, what's going on, buddy? And then another move to click. Another move to click. Another move to click. And then it will be a set active command. Hit save. 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 Cool. And then just to kind of show you what I'm doing here, we're going to switch these from being normal spawns to no spawn. So that one's switched. Switch from normal spawn to no spawn. Normal spawn, no spawn. We'll create a trigger and it will be... We'll make up a trigger. And let me double check something really quick. Just telling you that in case my face just kind of goes slack as I'm looking at stuff. Cool. Okay. Confirming. And so we'll say SGS. What's up, Banana Bones? copy that. We'll add it to this guy as well. We'll add it to this guy. Save. Oh, we'll save both of those remaining ones. Cool. All right, so we got this guy. This guy spawns. He doesn't do anything at the moment. So he's going to, when he spawns, he's going to pause. For 10 seconds. And then he's going to do it again. He's going to pause for 10 more seconds. You guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just over here. And then he's gonna do it again. Let's see if this actually works. So let's see. I might, anytime I do this, I'm like, I probably forget a step or something. I gotta like fix my bug, right? So it may be anticlimactic. See what happens. That wasn't him. He didn't spawn that. That just spawned on its own. That's not him. He didn't do that. That's the final wave. No, it's not. We haven't gotten to that stage yet. But it's so easy. It's so easy to do, right? Like it's another, like 5 seconds might be too, or 10 seconds might be too long. But it's seriously that easy just to do like a, you know, little wave event or whatever. It was a much bigger pain in the ass back in the day. All right, 10 seconds is like, it's just too long. Too long. It almost feels like let's break this down to like 2 seconds and see what happens. Was that male troll holding a lantern in the loading screen a moment ago? I think so. Do the Macarena. In theory, he could play an animation and he could say some stuff. I'm curious if him buffing himself. Is there no channeling effect, kind of like a sustained controller? He could play that animation, but like in terms of like channeling beams to the bugs or whatever, no, I don't think we can do that unless it would be like super hacky. But I'm very curious to see if he is failing to continue, or is it trying to spawn them, but it's not going to spawn them because that might be an interesting issue that we have at the moment. I bet you 100% they already exist in the way that they're being handled in data. It's not working. So what we could do is, rather than try to get that fixed right now, I would just brute force it. But look, like these guys are they're reacting to it, right? Because you've got the different factions going on here. So then it starts to get these guys agitated. And what we could also do is So we can brute force it in that we would just add a couple more spawn points and then give them a different unique trigger. And so it'd be like, instead of just pests over and over, it'd be pest 1, pest 2, pest 3. And so that would go. He would send those waves initially. All right, so let's just do that real quick, because why not? We've got a few minutes to fix it. All right, so we got these 3 guys. And they start doing their thing. And then what we could easily do then is just go... Very frustrated? Well, that's why they're frustrated, right? Because the guys like this spawning beetles and stuff. That's not fun if you're a farmer. And then... can you have it spawn guys there again, like every 10 seconds? In theory, what it could do is it could set a condition that then... I think it'd still wind up not, because basically these spawn points know that these guys are up, so I have to add new spawn points no matter what, in the way that our data currently work, because the server is tracking the existence of these guys, if that makes sense. So what we'll do is we'll brute force it for sake of the demo. Are we aiming for, how far along is the world scale right now, and how many more zones are you targeting for release? For 1.0, I would say the game's maybe 20 to 25% along the way, once we add module 1. So we're right around the sort of like 20% of scale. So it's going to be pretty big. It will, I think it will satisfy the desire you're speaking to, Rapala. And so again, this will be a no spawn, and it's going to have a trigger of past 2, save. And then we'll add another one here. Same NPCs. And SES. 2. Save. And another one here. A lot more banger tracks from Robert as well. Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's excited just about all of the different zones that he can get creative with and stuff. Especially, we've added a new team member. Mentioned him on the last stream. So Rondo has joined the team to assist Robert with audio, and is just like tackling a lot of like implementations and working in WYs and all that stuff. So that also helps Robert like free up some of his time for more music and stuff as well. So that's pretty awesome. Will major and minor combat and non-combat skills be perma or changeable in game? I don't know that we want a bunch of re-rolling. The last I remember hearing is we want that to be pretty set unless we make like a major change during early access. But feel free to ask ask Nick if there's any change on that in the next stream, like when he's gonna be streaming after me. So, is there a snow zone being worked on? Full snow zone, no. Will you potentially see snow sometime before the snow zones? Maybe. Get these guys set up real quick. And this guy. And he's going to get a go-to as well. And then probably another. You can see I'm just kind of tossing this in real quick. And then just because I want to see if this sort of the example works. And then it will be a set active command 0. That should make him loop down there. And then we'll get this guy down here as well. And move to click. There. And then move to click. We'll give it another little random one here. And then set active command. We'll create like a little fake loop as well. Save. Okay. Let's see if I'm forgetting anything. Let's see. We're good. Let's reload zone. Oh no, that's not going to work because I didn't update him. We got to fix him really quick. And then we'll reload zone and it should work. So. So, I mean, they spawn, right? So that's progress. We got this guy here. This guy here needs to be set to no spawn. Then he won't just take off the way he did. This guy here. That guy there needs to be set to no spawn. Save. The other new guy here. And then that guy. Alright, those should be good. Okay, so we got that going on now. And now let's update this guy. Does the Amazon and Microsoft outages have an impact on M&M? Will there be affected if it happens during playtest? I don't think so. When you need to time the spawns for however long it takes the mobs down there to finish off each wave. It's not true waves. It's not like the answer is if we wanted it to be wait until they get there, yes, but just want them to go based off of a timer that he's doing that is not based on that at the moment, right? So we're just going to give it like a, to test it out, 3 seconds. Yeah, I so in terms of like server hosting, that shouldn't affect us. It may affect one or more of our tools. We'll just have to look at that. Server shutting down 10 seconds. No. Can we beat it? Can we beat it? We'll have to log 5 seconds. Okay, the first wave is going. 3, 2, 1. Don't cast, you son of a... No, no, not shutting down now. More beetles. Send the next beetles. Stop casting and send beetles. Oh my god. You ruined it, Pest Summoner. Yeah, you said not today. Pest Summoner, a man of his own pace. He is not. He is not cooperating. So now I'm just waiting for the editor to finish crapping out. No, I don't think he... Yeah, I felt a sense of urgency and he did not. I don't know. A meticulously buffed Pest Summoner would be a better name. He's looking out for himself, really. He can't summon Pest if he's dead. Oh, for the love of all things. Editor, what are you doing? I think, you know, it's because I'm streaming and got the editor running. It's just being slow. Time to catch up on Slack, just in case anything is going on. Teach my 12-year-old how right now. He's been watching me play and kept bugging me how to play. Right on, dude. 12 is the perfect age for it. Unless you work for the SRB or the European PEGI Council or whatever. In that case, obviously a 12-year-old is not playing our game. You know what? It'd be easier for me to just kill the editor and like bring it back. Did we guys get rated yet already? No, but it's gonna be not for kids. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's progress. Oh, thank you. Let me see if the server's back up yet. It's probably back up by now. Do I need to pull anything? What are some changes planned for the Spellblade? You will need to ask Nick when we raid him in a few minutes. Made it to karate practice. Did you miss anything? Are you watching this during karate practice? Will there be any new Inquisitor races in the next test? There will not be. That I can answer definitively. Unless somebody just added more race class combos when I wasn't looking. But that's a joke, actually. Oh, it's your daughter's practice. I was like, that's going to be awkward. Have you talked about if harvesting trade skills will be limited to a certain amount per character? No, they won't be limited. They are a wonderful time sink, and so if that's how you want to spend your time, that's awesome. That is every element of the UI in 3D space. Evilsmeyer, I don't know that I'm going to read all of that out. Let me see if I can get back in. Imagining this as a giant inn boss, it's just a random spawn, to be honest. It's nothing major. It's just something I wanted to. I felt, you know, I felt a little silly earlier. I was like, oh, this would be silly to put in. This would be fun. Oh, hey, what up? Is combat math obtuse, strange, weird, or something easy to test with chat logs? I mean, it's math, so I don't. How obtuse could it ultimately really be? It's math. So what I'm very curious about is, depends on the angle. Root Wizzy, that is a pretty badass response. Alright, so we got this guy here. Let's load up the data. Hey! Hilford Games, thank you for the raid. I'll have to fix this on my own time, because we're getting close to the end of the stream. Just got raided. I've got the feeling that there will be some questions about the game. I should do my job and talk about the game a bit for the new folks, since we do have new people. Hilford, thank you for the raid. How are you doing? Are you just wrapping up a stream? I'm assuming you're wrapping up a stream, because who would start a stream and then like raid somebody, unless that's your thing. What's the game's name? The game is Monsters and Memories. It is a game that you can learn more about on our website here or our Discord there. So we are a... Let me turn down my music so I can think. We're an indie team that started in 2020 with the idea of making a very sort of classically inspired MMORPG that pulls from elements of early, like late 90s, early 2000 MMOs. Also the games that they kind of cribbed from, so CRPG elements and MUD, like MUDs. So we have like a full text-based interaction thing where I could do it right now, where I click look, or I could type in /look, /inspect, /take, right? And so a lot of environmental interaction through the text-based commands, but it is a 3D MMO. It's built in Unity. Hey, Zukin. We started the development of it based on just discussions we were having about what we liked about old MMOs back in the day. A few of us got together and started working on it. It's all volunteer based. The project has been in development now for around 5 years. We're going into early access at the beginning of next year. We went from being like 3-4 people in the first year to being close to 40 people, all volunteers. Now in year 5, as we're getting ready to go into early access. So we've got people in every discipline. Like the music that you hear, well, not at the moment, but the music that you will hear when the next song comes on is our own music. We basically have made everything in-house. It started with placeholder assets back in the day. And sorry, I had to switch music forward. And we've just basically been creating all our own art, our own assets, animations, music, everything ever since then. If you're interested in the history of the development of the game, you can go to our early access FAQ. Oops. And then at the bottom of that page, you'll see like various history links, and it'll take you into the history of development. We publish basically all of our expenses to date. So everything that we've spent under 200,000 to basically get to the point that we're at. And that point it's probably pretty hard to tell from in here. But between the big zones that we have like this, and like little mini dungeons and everything else, it's about I don't know, we're probably going to go into early access with about 20-ish zones. We post the VODs of all of our development on our YouTube, which you can find here. It's probably about 900 VODs at this point because several people on the team stream. We're really open with like basically any development questions people have had, like about our server architecture, how we're handling various network problems. You know, the artists show their art. We show a lot of like, I'll be in here showing design and stuff like that. And so we show our tool sets. Yeah, so we just try to be as open as possible, encourage people to work on games, while also like showing them, you know, our game. We have open playtests, as Liz and others have maybe stated in the chat. So we have a 10-day free playtest coming up on Saturday. So it's great timing if you're interested in it. Some people may warn you as far as the game goes. It's very there's no hand holding. So yeah, that city in the background is pretty massive, but also contains like our player housing and things of that nature as well. But you can see there's pretty long draw distance even for it being a zone-based game. Here, let me get you some light. Yeah, the community's super chill. Okay, I'm gonna warn you because I don't want to BS you. The community is super chill. 30-second elevator pitch turned into 3-minute pitch. That's Eminem style. Yeah, we're never concise. The community is super chill until you like complain about stuff that we're just not going to change. And so when you die, you leave a corpse in the world. You have to go recover your corpse. You lose some experience. You have to get your items back. Soldier said, I hate to say this, but I just handheld my son. I don't think I'm getting my account back. That's awesome. Yeah, it's dark in dungeons. It's dark at night. Definitely follow, like, there's a new player guide that you'll want to check out. There's a lot of commands. There's a lot sort of going on to learn. Yeah, but Discord's the best place to just kind of like ask people questions and get caught up. If you're a spellcaster and you die, yes, your spellbook it's stuck on your corpse as well. But you can buy additional spellbook. You can, yeah. So there's just, it's gotten to be a fairly big game. There's you know, a fair amount going on. But it's a fairly tough game. Yeah, chat bubbles aren't a thing. Floating combat text isn't a thing. Japan Slypian. There isn't a new overview trailer. We've got just some like very brief kind of like flash trailers on the YouTube. On the YouTube, I say as an old man. But we need to make a new kind of like overview. And the websites probably needs a better like breakdown of unique features and stuff like that. Yeah, I thought there was kind of like the sizzle reel or whatever. There are a couple of sizzle reels, but not necessarily a good overview. But a lot of our community have been making really cool overviews. One just came out recently. I think Ian made one. So if you look, if you ask in, this is like the worst, like, because I'm like, if you just ask somebody in Discord, it's like, shouldn't your website have that? We do everything ourselves, and so sometimes shit doesn't get updated. And people in Discord will absolutely give you links to like the latest 5 things to do before you play Monsters and Memories and get completely frustrated and punch your keyboard and then come back because you're not a quitter and you're going to figure it out, damn it. And then you get in there and you ask in OOC, I can't find my corpse, and people are like, dude, we've all been there. where did you think you died? And then people will be like probably Liz Biscuits will be in there as well and be like, it was near a thing, and then they're like, all right, so meet me at the gate. We'll go and help you get your corpse. It's a very socially focused game. That's one of the biggest things about it. Is like a lot of the things that we've put in is just to kind of like make it more social. And so far it's worked. Yeah. Yeah, trade skills are in. You know, our goal early on was basically to create a nice vertical slice of all the functionality that we'd like to have and then expand on in early access. And that's what we've been doing basically. So we've got like mounts stubbed in, and we've got housing in, and we've got you know, the various trade skills, of which there will be many, but we've got the first sort of handful in. Let me zone to Night Harbor. Oops. Let me just type all the wrong buttons. Zone Night Harbor. Let me spell it right. Zone Night Harbor. So excited we got new people. It's been a while. We figured we started like years and years ago in this category, but now we have our own game category and stuff, and we've just usually been streaming in there, and it's like, oh, it'd be nice to come back and like stream in this game category. And so that's what we're doing tonight. But yeah, we have the play test on the first. You can already register. I think we've got about 40,000 registered accounts at this point, just over 40,000. You can register. You can make your character and look at it and stuff, even with the servers being down. You can play around and sort of poke at it, the game once you've got it installed. But you can't get in yet. There's some secrets. You can find some stuff that allow you maybe to wander around offline. And then you can hop in on the first for free, like we said. Hilford Games said software and game development is really cool. I've had a blast with people here working on my game. Yeah, it's always like a lot of the people that are part of like our core community have been people that we met in this category actually. Are things to make the game all friendly, like account bound gear? We'll have a limited number of shared slots because the banks are regional anyway. And so we'll have a couple of slots that let you, you know, easily sort of like move items at that bank between characters on that account that can use that bank, right? But that beyond that, it's not a ton until you probably have your own house or something. Then it gets a bit easier. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing something, and I think my machine's like ready to be restarted because I'm zoning slower than crap into Night Harbor, and zoning times have actually gotten way better. So banks are not regional yet, FYI. That's fine. It'll eventually be there. Oh, by the way, Drawthal, Spider Monkey, Thud, thanks for the follows like forever ago. I'm just not seeing it. Yeah, so if I ever zone into Night Harbor, I think my machine is like done for the day. I'm in Germany, so it's 10:25 p.m. I usually sit down at the desk. I try to get to the desk like, you know, 8-ish in the morning. And sometimes I do not restart my machine before I start streaming. And having random crap open throughout the day can make it so that's like what you're seeing right now occurs. But it is not indicative of actual zone times. Mr. Moose, did you miss the sweet alpha key giveaway? You did, but I'm going to raid Nick, and then he'll probably do it as well. So if like you want to see our starting city, our first city, we've got 2 in the game now. The other one's not quite as crazy as this. This is the city of Night Harbor. And a lot of what you're seeing in here includes like player housing and stuff like that. Right, so these houses are for rent. But it's a big city. There's competing factions in here. Bunch of story over time. Yeah, Nick, if you want to go ahead and get it rolling, that'd be awesome. And it's still in progress. You can see we're still stubbing things in and working on some of the districts, but yeah, that's the overview. We've got zones and dungeons and little ships you can take to little areas that are pretty, like zone. See if it zones a little bit faster. I don't know what was going on that last time, but we'll check it out. We'll see. How are the local politics in Night Harbor? There are 3 major factions kind of competing for control of the city. So politics will definitely be a thing that you'll be exploring over time. Yes, I think that's it. I think I really... Unity, I think, has crashed on me 4 times that I know of. And I think today is just... I told you it was feeling a little bit rocky just then. So I think, honestly, that's... that may be it, because it's 10:30 and we want to raid Nick anyways. And he can continue to show you stuff and explain. Nick is the person to go to for questions about the classes and abilities anyways. So classes, abilities, some of what's been going on with trade skills, gameplay in general, some of the zones. I'm sure he can zone you around and show you more stuff if you're interested. Yeah. So for me, been streaming for 3.5 hours. It is now 10:30 p.m. I got to get up at 5:30 tomorrow. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to raid Nick now. And then I'm going to hop off here. And then I will see people. I'll likely be streaming the first day of the upcoming 10-day playtest. And so if you're new here and it at all strikes your fancy, if you're curious, like I said, excuse me, we got 20,000 people. Are you guys still there, or did everything crash? Maybe everything crashed. Twitch is not updating if you're still around. Give me a moment. Like, I think it's not the memory leak's actually something to do with the browser and not the game. So let me see if we can still raid Nick. But the website, like Twitch, is just being goofy. I'll reload Twitch. Like, I can see you guys, and I can see you in the little chat bot. But my browser is just dead. So it's reloading now. If you're still there. Okay. Let's raid Nick. I'm back. I can see you guys again. Like, it's the browser. I don't know. I think I had something open that's just like eating up memory or whatever. So stick around, raid Nick. If that's Japan, Slay PN, then thank you for the follow. Zonkers, you as well. Let's raid. We'll find Nicholas. Where is he? Nick Hotz. Not Nick Mertz. Merks. There he is. Alright, we're starting the raid now. Thanks, guys, for sticking around while the Nomely fan site. This is what did it. Let's get everybody loaded up on the bus, and then we'll raid. Almost there. There's a few more of you. Keep going. Everybody, I'll see you on Saturday. Let's go. A couple more of you. Click it. Let's go. Alright, I think we're good. You guys have a great one. I'm going to get some sleep, and I'll see you on Saturday. Enjoy Nick's stream.
New haircut? Oh, it's not too new.